What is up, Nuggets? It's your boy, Killer Pizza, here with a brand new video for all you rascals and rapscallions out there. Now, we're less than a week away from Christmas, which is absolutely crazy to me. Though I actually started my Christmas shopping earlier than normal this year, I don't know if it's with me working second shift and working a lot of hours or this COVID making things different where it's like Christmas just popped up all of a sudden. I can't believe it's less than a week away. But with that being said, it's the season, so I tried to find some good like Christmas themed horror movies. I did Silent Night, Deadly Night last year, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 this year, link in the description. And I wanted to do another Christmas themed horror movie. The obvious one would be Black Christmas, but I felt it was too obvious. So what I was originally going to go with was a Horror Pack exclusive, I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday. And I mean, this movie has tons and tons of like awards on the back and everything. And it was very short, 70 minutes. I haven't watched it yet. But to be honest, I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't want to watch this movie. There's certain films in the horror genre. I'm kind of a prude when it comes to horror. I don't really like paranormal horror movies, and I don't like movies like this, like survival, doomsday stuff. So nothing against it. I'm sure it's good. Check it out. But yeah, I decided to flip the script, and I'm going to go with something that's not horror. I decided to review Scrooged from 1988 with Bill Murray. Because Bill fucking Murray, right? So first and foremost, I'm not really going to dig too deep into this movie because it's pretty much a rehashing of a story that's already been told, The Christmas Carol with Ebenezer Scrooge. Which, if you guys aren't familiar with that, which I'm sure everyone is, Ebenezer Scrooge was a very mean and greedy man, and he gets visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future to teach him the error of his ways, to appreciate Christmas, blah, 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 bah humbug. But, so they kind of like made a newer version in 1988 with Bill Murray, like a more comedy version, obviously. And if this was a blind buy for me, if I'd never seen this before, it would blow my mind to think that Bill Murray is the villain in this movie, which turns out to be pretty fun. So we know the story, the meat and bones of it is pretty much a Christmas Carol, but I'll give you a little backstory with Bill Murray. And I'm not going to refer to him as his name in the movie, because it's Bill fucking Murray, so it's going to be just Bill Murray. He is the youngest executive president in the TV company history. Like, he works for a TV deal, like NBC, ABC, whatever. So for some of you young folk out there, before streaming, cable TV was a really big deal. It's like we all watch the Super Bowl, we all watch the Thanksgiving parade, and a lot of these channels, the mainstream channels, it's a big payday for them to put out like, you know, good Christmas special all day, Christmas Eve, Christmas, whatnot. And that's kind of where we start with Bill Murray. He's in a meeting. He's trying to get the best Christmas special on to pop the ratings and everything. And the trailer, like, it starts with a meeting. The trailer his employees pitch him looks great to me, perfect for Christmas, but he hates it and suggests like this really like gruesome, crazy trailer to make everyone want to watch and everything. And one of his workers ends up questioning him and gets fired. I wish I remember the name of this comedian. He was the one with that really weird voice, and he does a really good job in this. So I digress. I'm all over the place here. But anyways, yeah, he's going for this big Christmas special that's going to start, and you know, there's little things that are going to add to like him being an asshole. Like I was saying, I couldn't believe Bill Murray would be the villain. That just shows how good Bill Murray is. For Bill Murray to make me dislike him within 10, 15 minutes, that's a good-ass job. Like, he's got an assistant that he's not giving any raises to, making her work on Christmas Eve when her son has, like, a doctor's appointment. He fired the guy I just mentioned, like, for suggesting an idea. He's going over his Christmas list with people, his brother, his own family, and it's like, bath towel, bath towel. He's just like, he doesn't care. All he cares about is himself. And I actually, off the top of my mind, I don't remember if anything specifically happened that made him see these three ghosts, but the first ghost that appears is the ghost of his old boss, who he got the job from. And I'm going to say this right now about this movie, because my good friend Nick Baker, he has a YouTube channel, Retro Pizza, check it out, he questioned this is a horror movie like I did. But right off the bat with these effects, when his boss sees him in the office, this branches out to horror. And I mean, I'm going to do some comedies in the long run anyways, but I'm just saying for the sake of it, the effects in this movie are pretty gruesome and scary. Like, things used to be scarier in older movies. Like, this boss that comes to visit him as a ghost is like, it reminds me of American Werewolf in London, when his friend revisits him in the hospital or whatever, and his face is hacked up, because this boss is zombified. He's all dusty and fucked up. Great effects. And I love that Bill Murray gets terrified and he pulls out his gun and starts shooting his old boss. And his old boss is just casual, like, let's make a drink. And when he takes the drink, like the whiskey or whatever, all the booze start coming out of the bullet holes, which is great. And his boss pretty much tells him, you've fucked up a lot. Learn the error of your ways. You're going to be meeting your first ghost at noon tomorrow. And he kind of threatens him by holding him out the window of the skyrise through the glass, too. You'd have to see it to know what I'm talking about. But that was a pretty good effect as well. So this shit has Bill Murray on edge. Like, he wakes up in the morning. He thinks it was all a dream, but he finds, like, one of the golf balls that his zombie boss had in his dream. So he's like, oh, fuck, it's real. So we fast forward to, like, a little scene. He's having dinner with, like, his big boss and some, like, assistant that's going to come help him with, like, the Christmas story itself. This is probably, I don't know if I could say it's one of the most underrated scenes in the movie, because I haven't really talked to a lot of people that have watched this, but I love this scene. He's getting paranoid. He sees this watch. It's about noon. And just this laugh he has, like, the guy's explaining himself at the meeting. Ha ha! He just laughs out at him, and they look at him like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Because he's kind of like losing his mind and things. And to touch on, like, the horror-based stuff, he's seen some weird shit. Like, the waiter brings his drink, he sees an eyeball in the glass and starts freaking out. And it cuts back to reality, and his boss and the new guy, like, are like, don't see nothing, like, what the fuck? And then he sees, like, a waiter who's on fire, and he's freaking out and screaming, and which I love when they do stuff like that in movies, where, like, it's their vision and back to, like, what really happened and everything. But yeah, he ends up freaking out, like, I gotta get some air and everything. He takes off, he goes to grab a taxi cab, and this is where we meet our first ghost. This is the ghost of Christmas Past. He's like a real Jersey taxi driver, drives Bill Murray all around, and he's taking him to his past. And it starts to, open up the layers of what makes Bill Murray tick like this, because there's got to be a reason he doesn't like Christmas. It shoots to, like, him being a really poor little kid, and his dad comes home, and he gives him, like, 5 pounds of veal cutlet when he wants, like, a choo-choo train. And it's really sad, actually. Like, this movie is funny. It's got some cool effects, spooky effects, and it's got some emotional moments. Like, for just a funny 80s comedy, this takes you all over the place, because you generally feel bad. This little kid, he's handed, like, 5 pounds of veal for Christmas. Yeah, so to carry on, he takes him to, like, when he first met his love of his life and everything. And it kind of flashes back to him at the office party where everything is all fun. But he's just like a workhorse. His boss is telling him, have some fun, have some fun. Oh, I got to get the work done. And there's another funny part, because if I'm going to talk about all the funny parts that Bill Murray has in this movie, it's going to be an hour-long video, because there's a girl in the office taking photos of her ass the whole time, and she's handing them out to everyone, and she, like, kind of hollers at Bill Murray, like, you want to go get Chinese food? And he kind of just rubs her off, like, oh, that's bad for you, and walks away. And he's, like, outside of his own body, like, with the ghost watching. He's like, you're crazy. Go back there. She was so hot. She wanted you. So that's pretty funny. But it shows him meeting his, like, the love of his life. They bump into each other and everything. And it shows kind of, like, how they get along. And it turns out he was, like, in this mascot outfit, like, at a TV taping, working his way up the company. And the boss mentions to him he has a spot on him for dinner, for, like, a Christmas Eve dinner. But him and his girl had plans to meet up with their good friends for a dinner. And Bill Murray pretty much just tells her, like, I'm good. This is a big opportunity. I have to go meet with the boss. And that's what kind of ruins his relationship with her. Sorry I don't know any of the names of any of these people. I wish I did. I think Francis was Bill Murray. I digress. So we're starting to see a lot of layers on why he doesn't like Christmas, like character development, which, you know me, that's what I love the most when it comes to horror. Good story, good characters, and, good gore. So, he's actually really, like, feeling all this and getting upset by it. But, once he kind of wakes up from it and thinks it's a dream, he kind of goes back to being a prick again. Now, we're visited by the ghost of Christmas Present right here. This is by far the most annoying part of the movie. It's like a fairy. This girl, she's literally like a fairy. she is so obnoxious, and she keeps punching Bill Murray and all this stuff, which is kind of funny and whatever. That's my biggest flaw in the movie. That the Ghost of Christmas Present is so obnoxious, but she pretty much shows him like his brother's party that he was invited to but didn't come to, and just showing how much his brother loves him, and a lot of current situations like his assistant. She's got like I think 5 or 6 kids, and all in a little apartment, and just showing their struggle in New York and everything. He still doesn't really get it or whatever. So then eventually we cut to the Ghost of Christmas Future, which another funny scene because he's completely like losing his mind. Keep in mind, he's the boss of the whole operation. So when he comes back from these flashbacks or dreams or whatever you want to call them, he's like on set going nuts, but everybody has to just like deal with him because he's the one that writes the checks. So at one point he's walking into the elevator and there's somebody like in the costume of the Ghost of Christmas Future that's going to be on the set of the show they're filming. Excuse me. And he loses his mind, like, against, like, this guy in the costume. So, like, a lot of fun intertwining of storylines and everything in this. So, I mean, that scene was funny. You'd have to see a lot of these scenes to realize how funny they are. Or just watch any Bill Murray to know his charisma and timing. But anyways, he eventually does get visited by the Ghost of Christmas Future, I should say. And it's very scary, this ghost. Like, he opens up the robe thinking it's, like, the prop guy again, and it's got all these, like, it's like Hellraiser shit, all these faces and demons inside, like, the chest cavity of this monster when he opens up, like, his gown. Creepy shit. So, yeah, this is partially horror. I will contest to that. This is where it gets really dark. Like, they show a lot of things to Bill Murray, like, here's what's going to happen if you're not a good person. And it all kind of ends up where they're showing his funeral. And Bill Murray's like, that can't be me in the casket. And he's like freaking out, trying to open himself out of the casket, which every time they go back in past, present, or future, the people can't see him and the ghost. So, like, it's like literally like his assistant, his other assistant, I should say, and like his brother, the only ones at his funeral. And he's trying to like open the casket. And then it cuts to like him in the casket, and he's getting cremated, shoved in the fire. And this just shows how good Bill Murray is. His acting, like when he's like getting burned alive, like I got like anxiety watching it. Like, oh my God, he's pounding on the casket screaming, I'm still alive in here, I'm still alive in here. Unbelievable acting. Bill Murray's the fucking man. Like I said, over and over again. My Wi-Fi password is Bill F. and Murray. I'm going to say it on YouTube because none of y'all live close enough to get it anyway, so fuck you. I'm just kidding. Merry Christmas. But anyways, yeah, so he makes it back to reality where we have a fun scene. I wish I remember the guy's name. Like I said, the guy he fired in the beginning comes back to work with a shotgun, and he's trying to kill Bill Murray. But Bill Murray has this like epiphany, and he just like, you'd have to see it. Like physical comedy at its best. He grabs the shotgun, says, is this a shotgun you have in your hand, or are you just happy to see me? He starts spinning around, dancing with him. He's blowing on his belly and everything. He says, I'm going to give you double the pay in your own office. Da-da-da. This is Bill Murray in all his glory. So he runs down to the TV studio. He sends the dude with the shotgun into like where they cut stuff in like the production truck or whatever. And he like forces them to stay live on the air. And it's showing all types of people's reactions when Bill Murray walks out live. It shows like his main boss, his brother, the love of his life, the girl he really liked and all that. And they're all kind of watching this. And this is honestly kind of long-winded, but in a positive way. This is the highlight of the film for, in my opinion, I should say. He jumps on camera and he just starts talking about how he's been changed, how he loves Christmas, how you need to appreciate everything. And he said one line in there that really sticks out to me during COVID and everything, where he said, like, Christmas is the one time a year where for at least a couple hours, we can feel like the way we all want to be every day. Something along those lines. Don't quote me on that, but that's deep, you know? And, yeah, he pretty much goes on for 10 or 15 minutes, like just having an epiphany on camera in the final act. And it's like, you can tell, like, you know, they did a lot of stuff like improv back in the day. You can tell, in my opinion, that this was all off the cuff because he rants and rambles, and it's so good. Like, you literally see tears in the eyes of Bill Murray when he's saying all this shit about how he's changed and how everyone should care about each other. Hey, you gotta You got an old blanket in your closet, go give it to someone that's homeless. Just say hi to somebody, you know? And I'm glad it came full circle because nobody can hate Bill Murray for that long. He's absolutely hilarious in this movie. And then we have the final scene I don't want to give away. The very last part where something with the assistant's son. I'll just give it away. Fuck it. I said I wasn't going to talk the whole movie. I got excited and talked the whole movie. His assistant's son hasn't spoke in years since his dad got killed. But then he whispers to Bill Murray at the end, "God bless us, everyone." And he picks him up, and they have a good embracement. And it's a happy ending. I love this shit. I was so excited for this to come in the mail. I watched a couple reviews like before this, just to kind of like get in the groove of it. I haven't watched any movies since this. I watched this movie about 4 days ago, so I want to keep it fresh in my mind. But there were certain people I watched in these reviews that said, like, will this be in rotation every Christmas? And they said, nah. I'm like, you're fucking crazy. This is right up there with one of the best Christmas movies I've ever seen. It's an hour and 40 minutes. That's a little long for a movie, any movie in my opinion. But I was never bored. Bill Murray, as long as he's on camera, it's so entertaining. He's so funny, so charismatic. Every character in this plays a role, and they matter. You care about these people. It really gives you the vibe of Christmas. It's filmed good. It's got good effects, which you wouldn't expect from a comedy necessarily. This is just, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. 5 Christmas trees out of 5. This is amazing. I'm sure you can find this on any streaming site. And if you want to just buy the Blu-ray, it was $11 on Amazon. Though I will say, my criticism about it is this is a pretty dry copy. Because like I'm a big guy in like collectors, Blu-rays, as you guys know. This has no special features or nothing, just the trailer, I think. So, Scream Factory, you hear me? This could use a nice Scream Factory release. I would really like that. And overall, I feel like this is kind of a forgotten Christmas movie. Like, you don't hear a lot of people talk about this, though Bill Murray is admired by so many people. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really know what more to say. I'm almost going on 18 minutes when I was planning on just doing a 6-minute video. But, you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. I love this movie. I wanted to talk about it. So, yeah. Check this one out. 5 out of 5. If you can't find it streaming, buy it. Bill Murray alone should sell you on this movie. This is one of the best Christmas movies I've ever seen. And it's going to be a staple. I'm going to watch this every year from now on. So other than that, you know, I'm going to give you the same hoopla I give every time. We're in lockdown again here in Michigan. I hope everybody is doing well. Let me know what your favorite Christmas-themed horror movie is in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. I also want to give a big shout-out, like I said, to Nick Baker, Retro Soup. Subscribe to his channel. Klaus to the Heart from Jason Klaus. Subscribe to his channel. Share some love. Do something good for everyone. Let's not be assholes every day. Like Bill Murray said, Christmas Day is the day we all want to be who we wish we could be for a couple hours or whatever. Let's make that every day. Just help people out. Don't be an asshole. Like, it's pretty easy to be a good person these days. Just don't be a fucking dick, you know? Other than that, I want to wish you guys all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I will check you guys next time.